Hey guys, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to solo some C3 sites just to show you what it's like. So this is the Praxis that we all use. We all use some version of this. It is fit with an extra large shield booster. And in this case I'm using an Abyssal one, but it's based on a Tech 1 shield booster, and I just rolled it with some Abyssals. This one costs about 30 million to make, but it gives me faction level activation cost. And instead of ballistic controls, I use drone damage amplifiers because I find that the drones do most of the heavy lifting. We're using rapid heavies because they are high DPS. They're short range though, so what we do is we warp up to the site, we bookmark the structure, warp out, come back at point blank range to the structure, basically 20 kilometers, and then we're within range of everything for our rapid heavies, so we can smoke the site very quick. Alright, so I'm going to go on undock and go through. You can see here that I have people listening to the connections coming in, so our own connection from wormhole to hear anybody coming in the back way, and then somebody on the low sec static in there, which is EOL, just in case somebody does come through. Normally we would close that, but it's EOL, I didn't want to take the risk.
Warp drive active.
So we can see here that these sites can pay pretty good. The combat anomalies, 40 mil, 45 mil. That's what we're going to be doing today. Let's go in and see if there's a Fortification Frontier Stronghold. Those are my favorite. They pay 41 million, and they're very easy, I find. So yeah, we've got one. RJO. We're going to go to RJO at 100 kilometers.
Warp drive active.
To reload my missiles. Now we use wardens because some of the battleships and these sites, they like to orbit you at 55, 65 kilometers. So I use wardens to try and kill those before they get away. Go out.
Warp drive active.
So we'll say start the clock at 2:04. 2:05. Now, on this one, we are going to be killing everything but one cruiser on the first wave. So cruiser, defender, upholder. Just gotta remember that. Defender, upholder.
Warp drive active.
Those are our triggers to avoid. So about 90 seconds, 2 minutes for travel and bookmarking. So I'm listening for activations to tell me that somebody has come in and I need to get safe. That's what those are for. There is some new pressure on the next wave. So on that wave I will pulse my shields. As the DPS goes down, I'll pulse my shields. once the light drones, I should probably use different ones for my warriors. Once the light drones have taken care of the little guys, I'm going to pull them and switch to my mediums. I should have reloaded. It's going to slow me down.
A module has run out of charges.
I'm a little distracted streaming and stuff, but normally I'd be spamming this every few seconds, see if there's anyone around. We'd be doing that as a group so that as guys aren't able to, because they're, you know, retargeting or whatever, if the group is scanning together, then we're less likely to miss anything on the scan. Anybody logging in. This particular system is unoccupied. There's no structures in the system, so I'm not super worried. But if we were in an occupied system, we would be watching for the locals logging in. So we are at 4 minutes. Next wave will be 4 cruisers. We're leaving 1 upholder. The upholders are the newts. These guys are the newts, so I want to take one of those down. It won't trigger the next wave as long as we leave 1 alive. So this is where I want to manage my cap by pulsing my shield boosts. So once I get down to about 7,500, I can pulse. As you see, it does 1,037. Once they're in armor, they melt, so you can cycle off your missiles to put them on the next guy. We want to focus our fire to try and get DPS down as quickly as possible. Sure, I could spread my damage, and it'd probably take about the same amount of time to do the site, barring any logi.
A module has run
But
out of charges.
ideally, you want to get as much DPS off grid as possible, so that you don't have to cycle your reps as much. Preserve your cap. Watch your drones, particularly if you're using Delente drones. They're kind of slow moving, they'll take a lot of damage. Minotaur and Caldari drones are faster, better tracking. They don't do as much damage, but they apply better and they survive better. Turning on that missile to put it away. So this site will pay me 41 million ISK. So even if I'm clearing 1 every 20 minutes, let's say, it's still 120 mil an hour. After tax is probably about 110 mil. You can decrease the amount of taxes you pay by grinding missions for the corps that buy blue loot. For example, Emperor family, they have level 4 missions, so like dual purpose. You can have PvE and high sec with them, and also get a lower tax rate when you sell your blue loot to them. They run the MR trade up to. Alright, so the final wave, there's going to be a preserver. He is logic. So I'm going to take down this upholder as fast as possible. What's his damage here? Maybe I'll take down the preserver fast. It'll probably manage my cap. Take down the preserver first, so that I can kill these guys fast because he won't be repairing them. So I'm going to take down the preserver, then the upholder cruiser, then the other DPS. Their alpha's pretty hard, so I'll probably play catch up at first. The alpha is when they first spawn and they all fire at once on you. What the total damage is, that's the alpha. Or your own alpha is when, oops, your own alpha is when you fire everything at once, that first shot, how much damage it does. Alright, let's go for the preserver. That's their Livesy, then their upholder. Switch to my heavy drones, my sentries, and switch to my faction missiles. So we're at the 10-minute mark. Pretty good damage there, you see I'm wrecking hard. I should have cycled my reload earlier. Once I fly the missiles to melt. And then the nuked cruiser will be next. Oh, my warden took a hit. Now let's take down that battleship. I'll let my wardens repair their shield before deploying them again. See, he's got some pretty high damage, that battleship. 439. He's also newts, but I wanted to get some newts down as fast as possible, so I went for the weak upholder first.
A module has run out of charges.
See how far out he's going? Might not even, yeah, I can't even hit him with my missiles anymore. We're gonna put missiles on these guys. It's a slow grind with just my mediums on him. But once his armor breaks, that'll be fine. And we'll be able to recall our drones and put them on these mediums. Alright. Oops. Wrong one. Almost there. So this guy likes to orbit at 65. So we have to prepare for that. I'm not sure if I turned on my drone augmenter, but the drones will keep going even as he tries to pull out of their range. Okay, yeah, it's on. So you can see I can still send them after him. So like my sentries, for example, would still be able to attack him at that range. Oof, we're at the 15-minute mark, including bookmarking and stuff. I wasn't really on the ball today, but you can see in about 15, 16, 17 minutes you can clear one of these sites. It's at least 3 an hour, 120 mil solo in a relatively cheap battleship. Here we go. Let's got him out now. The Valkyries are pretty fast, I'll be honest. Just after 05 when we started, including bookmarking and all that stuff. So less than 16 minutes. Alright, there you go. There's a Fortification Frontier Stronghold. 41 million in blue loot. Probably about 35 million profit if you don't have any reduced taxes with one of the corps to buy the blue loot. So 35 mil every 15 minutes, we'll say, if you're on the ball, if you're efficient. Let's do the math here. 41 mil times 0.92, because 8% tax, base tax for the seller, equals times 4 equals. So a profit of 150 mil solo after taxes. Not too bad.